some big stories here. Algorithmic sovereignty and black box society. What is algorithmic sovereignty, Jeremiel, and what is a black box society?
Well, a sovereignty on an algorithm is there when people that participate into that algorithm, that are governed by that algorithm, can decide about it. And based on the laws, also we take decisions. So it's a pretty important thing. We don't know how it is being done. These things are not declared. So a black box society is a metaphor actually invented by, quoted by the book of Frank Pasquale, an American author, that describes how certain transparency that was always in place has become opaque. So sovereignty is really what I argue we should have in these cases. We should have a way to not just be users, but be all participants and have a say on how systems govern our lives.
Right, but look, people are easily manipulated when you give them a little love in the form of a like button. You know, you can get a mass of people to do anything. People are stupid, right? So, I mean, when you give technological platforms the ability to incentivize stupidity, you're going to end up with what we have today. I mean, we've gone past the looking glass, right, Jeremiel?
Yes, well, you are right in saying what you say. A great example was, for instance, Go. And this situation created security problems because places were flooded. In New York, the mayor actually warned people and the police about this game and the fact that it actually drove teenagers to flood and clog places of public utility. In the Netherlands, we had the teenagers crossing railways. So you see that it's absolutely right what you say. We can manipulate people even with a game, with simple points.
So we have the danger of rogue algorithms, and once they get out of control,
Absolutely. And the episode that you quote is a very important one because as of today, we did not find out what the hell happened into an algorithmic mistake. And this really shows us how dangerous it is to add complexity, which is my next point. For sovereignty to be in place, we need simplicity, we need minimalism. That simpler systems, when they are minimal, when we can clearly identify the inputs and the outputs, are easier to maintain secure. We can understand what is interfering with them. When we augment complexity, we lose our possibility to understand these systems.
And people assume that it's somewhat benign, that it's just mathematics and it's just automation, but they don't understand that algorithms can be programmed to reinforce biases.
I do agree with that. The problem being identified, I think, is not enough because we need a solution to that. And so far, the solutions to these problems in the US, there are court cases about this. And even in the case of a court case of an analysis by a judge, we cannot actually evaluate really what is happening to that data. So it is very important not only to look at the source and to the result of data processing, but also to the algorithms that change this data into shape and tells you, yeah, look, this is the truth because an algorithm said it. You know, it's a deep learning. It's so deep that I cannot even explain you what happens down there, but you have to believe it. It's the truth. It's scientific truth. So we live into a very grim scenario if we give up to this, because we will lose also touch with what we can verify to be truth and go into the direction of a sort of pseudo-scientific belief that everything that is processed through complexity must be true. It's very tricky, and you know, we can put it in relationship with political beliefs, with governmental decisions, and with all sorts of very important things that govern our life.
Right. Now, can you give us a couple more examples of hidden algorithms we may not realize are controlling our choices?
Well, and we have seen very extreme examples of rage of people that were assaulting. There was a very, very sad episode last year and ended up tragically. This is just an episode that happened in the US 1 year ago. And often all these processes are dominated by certain companies, a few companies around the world actually,